Hey YouTube, this is Frank with Adventures of Frank and Tina, and today what I'm going to be telling you about is trying to do a DIY, another DIY and a how-to about phone batteries. How to make your phone battery work if it's quit charging without having to go and buy another one. Sometimes you're not close by to a place to go buy another one, or you need it right now. And this is a pretty good hack on a couple of hacks on things you can do. And I'm also going to do a tip on how to keep your phones charged and to keep them in good shape. Phones charged and to keep them in good shape. Okay, first off, the first tip to keep your phone in good shape, this is the first thing you should do, just like your car. Pull your battery out, so it'll come out easily. See that little place right there? Make sure that those are clean. Make sure they're cleaned off real good. Make sure these are cleaned off real good. Make sure they, you might even want to take a little bit of a, not a wet rag because you're able to short it out, but a little bit of alcohol if you can touch them one at a time real easily. Probably not, so what I do is just usually take my finger and clean them like that. And then pop it back in. We're not gonna put the back on it because we'll have that battery on and off. So we're gonna see if we got any charge on this phone at all. 2%. Okay. I want to get the screen as bright as I can get it, and I want to turn on the video because we want it pulling a lot of juice because we want to shock this thing. Okay, there's Tony at our cabin in the woods, so we're gonna watch him real quick. And sorry, Tony, but we're gonna have to kill you. Not really kill you, but watch. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out. We're gonna press the button. We're gonna pull this out, and then we're gonna hold it there. We're going to hold that power button. That's the key. You press the power on-off button at the exact same time you go to pull this battery off. And then you hold that button in for 1 minute, 60 seconds. So, anyway, we're going to hold this in for 60 seconds, and that's gonna work. So, what we're going to do is we've got one more hack we're going to do. It's going to let you know how to shock your battery, and we're going to use this old. Don't ever throw these old cords away because there's uses for them. We're going to use this one as a jumper cable. If you've ever had a car and you've had to have it jumped off, see, I'm holding this the whole time. Watch this. I do not let this go. That's 1 minute. But if you've ever had a car that you had to jump off, you had to have a set of jumper cables. You need a set of jumper cables for your cell phone because it will jump the battery off on your cell phone when you can't get anything else done. And I'm going to show you in just a minute how to do that. It's a great little hack. It's good to have. It's good to know. But anyway, these batteries, on the inside, they get basically clogged up on the inside. They basically get this stuff that grows up around them that crystallizes on them. And then what you do is when it gets a shock of power to it, it'll knock those crystals off and it'll start taking a charge again. So that's the science behind what we're doing. Anyway, I'm just trying to make it in layman's terms to where everybody understands what we're doing. But that is what we're doing, and that's how it's going to work. Okay, it's been just about a minute. So now, without taking my finger off the button, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in. Pull my finger off, put it back on. Let's see if I can't get him to turn on. Should turn on. And then we're going to try to charge it and see if we can't get him to charge. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, I'm going to lay this right over here and let this charge while I show you how we're going to make our jumper cables. Okay, you take this end right here, and however way you're going to do it, I do it kind of like this. I usually have these little nippers, and I take it. Don't want to get too far in, But I go up the side like this and take this outer cover off right here. Do it with a pocket knife if you want to. Works just as well. Probably better. But you don't even have to do all this once you figure it out. I'm just doing this to show you what we got going here. Don't want to get too close. There. And this is the funny thing about these how-to videos. You know, you've heard me say before, I'm sure, if you've listened at all, that they help on our watch time. Well, they 100% do. The last one I made on the breaker that probably bored half of y'all stiff on the pool breaker is out of 303 videos climbed all the way to our number 11 video. And it was the lowest hit video in the first week of any video we had. So our subscribers weren't hitting it at all, and they're still not hitting it a lot. You know, some of our diehard ones, you know, really did. They hit it and they watched it. So some of y'all on here are going to know which video I'm talking about. And you probably had trouble staying awake during the video because it was a pretty boring video. But if someone is looking up something, then guess what? They'll be looking on that video. Okay, I want to show you something. All these are the same. Every one of these are going to be, most all of these are going to be the same. I say all of them, most all of them. You do run into a few that are different. But I'll try to get this off here. I just want to show you something. I had to pick the hardest one in the world to get in. This is a really good one, so it's really hard to get in there. Okay, I done broke that off. No, I done broke that off. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it or not. But that outside one, right there, and you can't see it. But there's a black one and a red one. They both go on the outside. Red is positive, black is negative. Let's just go ahead and cut that off. That's all I was going to show you. And we'll get this one open. It wasn't a black one, okay? This one's the different one, okay? That's why we couldn't find it. This one, you got the negative being the one that hasn't got any coating on it. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm tightening it up. That's on this one. It's usually the black one. Okay, look at there. There's your negative wire right here, the one I just twisted up. Okay, and red, just like on a car jumper cable, red's gonna be your positive. That green and that white right there, you see those, the green and the white? Those two right there are for your data. So we're going to cut those out of the way because you will not need them. I'm going to cut all these strands out of the way too because you will not need them either. I'm telling you, this cat is just sitting here watching everything I'm doing in amazement. Okay, we're going to jump start this battery. Okay, you see I've got that? Just twist that up and get that in a nice spot. As a matter of fact, we're going to fold over the end of it like that to give a nice fat end for our jumper cable. We're going to do the same with this one. We'll fold over the end, give it a nice fat end for the jumper cable. Okay, you see that? There is my jumper cable. Now, we're going to plug in this end. It's plugging into the wall right over here. But you see this? This says, I don't know if you can read that. It says 5 amp. Or 5 volt, excuse me. 5 volt, 2 amp. It's 2 amp, 5 volt. That's what we want is 5 volt. Okay, when it comes straight through this phone, it's going to be bringing about 2 volts. I got to plug that back in. Hold on just a second. Unplugged it from the wall. Should have had that longer cord like we were talking about. Now if I can do this without blowing up. Okay, you see the battery right there? Now the other way, let's just see how that worked before we do it. Let's see what we're at. Let me plug this in and see if we can see where we're at as far as power goes. See what this tells us. It says charging. Let's see where it's at. %. Okay. It's actually taking a charge, see? It's actually coming up. So we kind of fixed the battery a little bit just a minute ago with that. And if that's all you can do, a lot of times you can fix a battery and get it to where it'll work. And you can get it back up slowly. But let's go ahead and watch this. Okay, you see right here. You see on the phone, on the battery, where it says negative and positive right there? I don't know if you can see that, focus in. But right there, if you roll it on up, that terminal and that terminal, this terminal here, let me get to where we can see it. This terminal here is negative. This terminal here is positive. Remember, the red wire is positive on our cord. So we got them two together. Now be careful with this. The kids don't try this. But if you're a grown up and you can do things, you can do it. If you can jump off a car, you can do this. Okay, so I'm going to push this one to the negative. I'm going to hold it with my thumb. And I'm going to touch this one to the positive. And I'm going to hold it with my thumb. I'm just going to just sit there and hold there for a minute. And just see what happens because we're giving it a jump start. Okay, that should have done something. So, see where we are now. %. Did you see that? That just got that up 2% that quick. Let's see if we can get it higher. And what we're trying to do is shock this battery, remember? So, positive and negative, remember where they go. So we're going to put the negative right there, just like we said. And the positive right there. And we're going to hold them there. Well, there's the positive, and the negative. Okay, we're going to hold them there. Hopefully I'm holding them in the right spot. Also, if you start feeling any heat building up, take your hand off of it. See where we're at now. We shocked that pretty decent. See what? Still at 4%. But anyway, it's ready to charge. Just took 2 more percent. The next time I don't think I really had it touching right. But anyway, a lot of times you'll have to do it over and over again. But anyway, you got the gist of how to do this. Okay, this is the thing. You never have a cord. And when you do have cords, somebody in the family always takes it and folds it over like that to go to their phone. And then you end up having this. So that's bent like that. No, it doesn't work. Now, I could probably fix it and solder it back together, but I paid for this cord. It's a long one. I paid like $13 or $14 for this cord at Walmart. I think Dollar General is where I bought this. $13 or $14, something like that. It's a good cord, but it didn't last but about a week. None of them last but about a week around here because we've got kids that are always on them. So I bought this little toolbox at the Dollar Tree for $1. Also at the Dollar Tree, what's $10 at Walmart and at Dollar General is $1. They have all of these different cables that fit your phone for $1. Big assortment, as many of them as you could get. They also have these for $1. Okay, short ones, long ones, medium ones. So what I did was I just bought enough to fill this box up. You see how empty it is right now? In about 2 weeks, we've already ran it down. So I'm going to go back up there and spend about 20 more bucks. Fill this thing completely up. Even probably put some more on the shelf. Maybe even buy another box. But that way we've constantly got a cable when we need one. For about the same price as it cost me for this one. So it's a good idea. There's your little hack. We've got another one of these with a bunch of the little white 6-foot extension cords. And the reason being, I've heard people say, well, electrician won't recommend that. They're great for these because they don't pull a whole lot of juice. They're fine for that. They're big enough for that. You don't need to plug a space heater into one. And we got to use some common sense of what we're doing. But anyway, and there's no sense in spending, man. You can buy these cords at Dollar Tree for $1 a piece. Man, just go ahead and go over there. If you're going to spend 20 bucks on cord, go buy 20 of these. Whole lot easier, whole lot easier. I just went ahead for another $1 and bought another little box to put them in, and then another box and a whole bunch of cords to where we could extend them, because we've always got problems with making our videos of batteries going dead and we have to plug the phone in, and then we don't have a long enough cord. And those little 6-foot cords is usually all we need to be able to get to an outlet. But anyway, glad you can watch. Usually when you cut the one off here, it's usually the black and the red. Black's negative, red's positive. Pretty easy way to see. But either way, it's the outer 2 terminals on the mini USB. On that mini USB, it's the outer 2 terminals. So anyway, that should help you and keep your batteries clean, and that should be a little bit of phone maintenance tips for the day. Y'all have a great day, and I appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.